So now you have a brief overview of what's happening this weekend at Original Thinkers. And I'm sitting here with David Holbrooke, the ringleader of the Original Thinkers Festival.
Pleasure to be back, Lindsey. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming back again. We appreciate it. So you're gearing up. It's finally here.
Man. It's on in such a big way, like the conference center, which we're renaming the Big Idea, just a little ways from here. There are a dozen people building this radical set for the theater. We have people running around town doing these things. I mean, it's on.
Yeah. So everybody's running on high gear right now.
It is. We've had one staffer, I won't mention who, has done her first overnight. I said, you got to sleep. but we're in that pinch. And that's one of the things I love about doing a festival. My first job out of college was working at the Olympics. And the Olympics were going to come whether you're ready or not. Mm-hmm. And I think I really got used to that idea of working towards an event. And of course, 10 years of mountain film, working with Peter Kenworthy, we knew that was coming. We always knew. And that inexorable march gets the blood flowing and the adrenaline going and gets you focused for sure.
Yeah. So tell us a bit, and now that we've gotten to this point, about the programming that's coming up this weekend.
I'm so excited about the program. It really is something I've never seen or done, in that we're just doing 10 programs, and each one of them has their own flavor, their own concept, but they're each built around an individual idea. And what we're doing is we're saying, okay, that idea is going to be amplified by a speaker, by a film, usually a short, and that in combination allows us to understand that idea in a whole different way. And I think films are celebrated in so many ways, to educate, to edify, to inspire, all these things, but I don't think we look at films as much as for their ideas. Mm-hmm. And what we're trying to do is saying there are ideas that run deep in these films, even when you don't really think so. And I'll give you an example. We're doing a show I love called The Metabolism of Resilience. And Ron Suskind is sort of the kernel of that. And Ron was the star of Life Animated, the film about his son who is autistic and loved Disney movies and processed his whole world around Disney. And so Ron's coming to talk about the resilience that his family had to go through dealing with a son who became non-communicative from age 3 to 7. And all the challenges of that. But he's also talking about the resilience we need as a country right now, given all the crazy things that are happening in this world. And so that's Ron Suskind, and he'll be fantastic. He's one of the most eloquent people I've ever met. And people really gravitate towards him. But then we're going to pair it with a film called Prince's Tale. And Prince's Tale is a beautiful short documentary about a guy named Prince Ampensah, a Canadian actor and dancer, who was in a horrible fire in Toronto and was horribly scarred by it and lost both his arms. And the film is about him deciding to continue to dance. Mm-hmm. Wow, what an expression, what an example of resilience. So the two of those together is, probably a 75-minute program, but build around this one idea of the metabolism of resilience, and I think there's real power in that. And that's just one of 10. Mm-hmm. I could go on through all of them, but each one is built like that. And so I think and hope that the audience will come in, get this big burst of ideas of all these things, and then say, okay, I'm going to go decompress, I'm going to get food, get a drink, go play ping pong, go outside, who knows with our weather, and then come back in for something completely different, but still build around that concept of a single idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that we first talked about, I think back in March was scheduling everything around the ideas. That's and right. Not requiring people to get up and leave to go get in line for something else. And it seems you've been very successful with that, looking at the schedule.
Yeah, we're one theater, and it's called The Big Idea, which is the Telluride Conference Center. And that's going on. Everything else is dark. Mm-hmm. When the Big Idea is dark, we'll say, hey, do people go over to Wagner Ski Factory and take a tour of that? Pete's an original thinker. We'll say, go on the Via Frada, weather permitting. Chuck Kroger is certainly an original thinker. Just chill out. Read a book by one of our authors, David Quammen, Ron Suskind, Jedediah Jenkins, Lauren Greenfield. All these people have wonderful books. We just want people to be relaxed. And it sounds facile because it probably is, but I want this to be smart, fun, and chill. Mm-hmm. Super smart in the programming. All the people both on stage and in the audience, so smart. Fun because we're in Telluride and we're gathering all these terrific people together, and we should enjoy each other. That's important. Mm-hmm. And then the chill factor of saying, I don't have to hustle out of here. I can relax into this. My pass gets me into the show, and I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to get in. And I think that really, when you take that stuff away, you can create a richer experience what's happening in the theater and for the audience overall.
Absolutely. So you touched on a few of the guests that are coming.
Sure.
While you're excited for all of them, I know.
All of them.
Who do you think people should be really keeping an eye on this weekend?
Come on, I can't answer that, Lindsay.
Toughest question
Which
of
is
the
my
night.
favorite child? I don't know. Look, Lauren Greenfield is such a big art star right now. Mm-hmm. Her book, her movie Generation Wealth, which we're playing Friday night. We're also doing a free outdoor screening of her last film, Queen of Versailles, which is a terrific film. Lauren is really giving an insight into what's driving not only a lot of America, but the world. There's this idea of this culture of consumption, mm-hmm. which is unnerving and disturbing in so many ways. And I think Lauren will really help people understand that. I'm personally excited, and we're playing a film here called We Are Not Done Yet. And it's a documentary that I actually helped produce, but had a very minor role. Really, the director and the producer, who's Jeffrey Wright, the actor who's coming in as well. They were part of it, and Jeffrey's been a friend for a while. But the people who I'm really excited to meet, who I've never met, are the veterans in the film, the stars. And the film is about these veterans who decide to put on a spoken word performance to help deal with the trauma of their combat. Such courageous men and women, so brave, so willing to share. And I haven't had a chance to meet them, so I'm really looking forward to having them here and seeing how they enjoy Telluride, and I know that knowing Telluride, knowing the people who will be showing up, they're going to be warmly welcomed to this community, and what they've done is remarkable, both from the traumas, the challenges of war and combat, but how they've dealt with it. Their courage, their wisdom, their depth of character and personality blows me away. I'm on text chains with them, on email chains, and the way they're grappling with what they've had to deal with makes anything I've done look easy.
Yeah.
Really, truly. And so I can't wait to have them here.
So attendees are going to be walking away with a ton this weekend. What is one thing that you hope to do for all of the people that are going to be coming this weekend?
That's a great question, Lindsay. I think for me, it's something Peter and I always tried to get right at Mountain Film was, what's the action item? What's the impact? Mm-hmm. And that's a really hard thing to do. And what I want is for people to come out of this and say, okay, I've learned, I've listened, and I'm taking away something that will affect me in my everyday. And I wish I had a more tangible answer, but I feel the idea that we can just like things on Facebook or tweet them or share them on Instagram, whatever it is, that's not enough. And I don't think it's enough to make change. I don't think it's enough for our soul. Mm-hmm. And what I hope that we can do is really people come away saying, I'm transformed. And that's a high goal, but I really feel we can do it. We will see. And what I hope really as we build this festival, we can find those action items that are real and tangible to give people that opportunity to say, now I'm doing this. Right. It's important to feel this, it's important to think this, but what are we doing? And that's the thing that's my biggest question mark about this. I feel the programming's strong as hell. I'm really psyched about all the people who are coming out to take it all in. Mm-hmm. But what are we going to do? And that's the big question. And that's exciting. Whether we can answer it in a way that's easy to explain, I don't know. But that's the goal.
Yep. Well, I hope you have the best weekend yet, and I'm sure everything's going to turn out beautifully.
It feels good. I like where we're at this point. It's exciting, and I hope people turn out. And thanks for having me back on the show.
Thank you so much for coming, David.
Pleasure, Lindsay.
Appreciate it.
Right on.